You think dinosaurs were the biggest creatures to ever rule the Earth? Wrong. Just 10,000 years ago, massive fur-covered beasts bigger than buses and 10 times heavier than modern elephants roamed across the planet. A single giant ground sloth could knock an entire pride of lions off their feet with just one swipe. And then they vanished in the blink of an eye. Want to know why? Don't click away. The next 10 minutes are going to blow your mind. $2.58 million years ago, the Ice Age begins. This is no longer the planet of dinosaurs. They died out 66 million years ago. Now it's the age of mammals, and they decided to break every size record in history. Megafauna aren't just big animals. Technically, the term refers to creatures over 44 kilograms, but don't let that number fool you. The superstars we're about to meet range from 1 ton all the way up to 22 tons, heavier than a 40-foot truck. The African elephants you see at the zoo today, they're basically the scrawny great-grandkids of their prehistoric ancestors. They lived on every continent except Antarctica. They devoured hundreds of kilos of vegetation a day, dug life-saving water holes for entire ecosystems, and were the ultimate nightmare for any predator. This was an age when nature went all out. Everything had to be colossal. But then, in just a few short millennia, shorter than the time it took humans to build the pyramids, around 70 to 80% of these giants completely vanished from the Earth. In some places, they disappeared within a single human lifetime. Today, we only see these giants through fossils or in animated movies. But over the next 10 minutes, I'm taking you back to the moment when Earth was truly the planet of fur-covered monsters. Ready? Because up next, we're meeting the cat that could kill an elephant with a single bite. All right, time to meet each heavyweight boss. Buckle up, because the sheer size of what's coming is about to blow your mind. Woolly mammoth. Standing up to 4.2 meters at the shoulder and weighing 6 to 8 tons, they carried a 1 meter thick coat of fur like a built-in survival jacket for minus 50 degrees Celsius winters. They had to eat 300 to 400 kilograms of grass every day. That's about 8 full sacks of rice from your house. The longest tusks ever found reached 4.9 meters, longer than a 7-seat SUV. And they weren't just in Siberia. They roamed as far south as Mexico and Spain. And the craziest part, they were still alive when the first pyramids of Giza were built. Giant ground sloth, Megatherium americanum. Measuring 6 to 6.5 meters from nose to tail and weighing 4 to 5 tons, it was bigger than today's Asian elephants. Its 1 meter curved claws were razor sharp, able to tear open the trunk of an ancient tree. It could rear up on its hind legs like a bear, reaching up to 7 meters tall to grab leaves high above. And don't let the slow look fool you. When provoked, one swipe was enough to send a smilodon flying 5 meters. Fossils show they dug burrows up to 40 meters deep, entire tunnel networks stretching for kilometers across South America. Saber-toothed cat, smilodon populator. The largest individuals weighed up to 500 kilograms, twice the size of today's African lions. Their 28-centimeter saber teeth were thin but extremely sharp, designed to pierce the necks of young elephants or rhinos. One bite delivered a force of 1 ton, stronger than a modern saltwater crocodile. They hunted in packs of 5 to 10, more like wild dogs taking down bison than the lone hunters you see in movies. The La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles hold over 2,500 smilodon skulls, more than the number of lions left in all of Africa today. Giant short-faced bear, Arctodus simus. When standing upright, it reached 3.6 to 3.8 meters tall and weighed up to 1,200 kilograms. 1.5 times heavier than a modern Kodiak bear. Its unusually long hind legs allowed it to sprint at 60 to 70 kilometers per hour in short bursts. Faster than a horse, it was an extremely aggressive omnivore, stealing kills from wolves, chasing Smilodon off their prey, and even attacking wounded mammoths. A single paw strike generated more than 2 tons of force, enough to shatter the skull of an ancient bison in one hit. Woolly rhinoceros, Quelodonta antiquitatis. Weighing 3 to 4 tons with horns up to 2 meters long, it was covered in thick fur like a mammoth. Despite its tank-like build, it could run at 50 kilometers per hour. In Siberia, fossils have even been found with skin and internal organs preserved, frozen for 35,000 years. Glyptodon, the armored living tank of the Ice Age. Measuring 3.3 meters long and weighing 2 tons, it carried a 5-centimeter thick armor shell that nothing could penetrate. Its tail ended in a spiked club. One swing could shatter the leg bones of a saber-toothed cat. Ancient humans even used its shell as a roof. Giant deer, Megaloceros giganteus. Boasting the widest antlers in history, a staggering 3.65 meters across, and weighing 40 to 50 kilograms, heavier than the entire head of a modern deer. It could still hit 70 kilometers per hour while carrying that colossal clothes rack on its skull. And that is only the tip of the iceberg. But then, in just 2,000 short years, millions of these giants vanished completely. So who's to blame? The climate or us, humans? The dark truth is about to be revealed, and it's going to shock you. This was one of the fastest and largest extinction events in the last 541 million years. North America lost 73% of its megafauna, South America up to 83%, and Australia and New Zealand were wiped out almost entirely. Only Africa and South Asia were hit the least. And why is that? We're about to find out. Cause number 1, the End Ice Age climate whiplash. Around 14,500 years ago, Earth suddenly warmed by 5 to 10 degrees Celsius in just a few centuries. Ice sheets collapsed, sea levels surged by 120 meters, drowning the entire Bering land bridge. The tundra turned into pine forests, then into deserts. Grass-eating mammoths found nothing but thorny shrubs. Woolly rhinos starved to death on grasslands that no longer existed. Many scientists call this a climate shock no large animal could possibly adapt to. Cause number 2, overkill, humans as the ultimate serial killers. But climate wasn't the only killer. At the same time, Homo sapiens, our own ancestors, were spreading across the planet at a terrifying pace. Australia. Humans arrived 65,000 to 50,000 years ago. 95% of megafauna vanished within the next 5,000 years. Madagascar. Humans arrived around AD 500. Elephant birds and giant lemurs disappeared within 500 years. New Zealand. The Maori arrived around 1300. 3.6-meter tall moa were gone by 1440. The common pattern? Every time humans show up, the megafauna don't. We didn't hunt alone. We hunted in coordinated groups, driving entire herds toward cliffs with fire, trapping them in 5-meter pitfall traps, and striking with razor-sharp stone spears. For a herd of 50 woolly mammoths, killing just 2 or 3 breeding females each year was enough to wipe them out within 200 years, because they reproduced painfully slowly. A 22-month pregnancy, and calves needed 15 years before reaching adulthood. Cause number 3, the deadly combo plus disease. Here's the harshest truth. It wasn't climate change or humans alone. It was both, hitting at the same time. Warming climates weakened these giants, stressed them out, and forced them to crowd around the last remaining waterholes. And humans simply arrived at the perfect moment for an all-you-can-eat buffet. On top of that, We brought dogs, rats, and parasites that Ice Age megafauna had zero immunity against. Today, less than 1% of all megafauna species still survive on this planet. African elephants, Asian elephants, giraffes, rhinos, hippos, and that's basically it. Everything else has become nothing more than ghosts in a museum. We were the force that ended the age of giants, and if we're not careful, we might just end ourselves next. Megafauna reminds us that Earth was once a playground for giants, and we were the reason they vanished. So let's protect the animals we have today before history repeats itself. Which species was your favorite? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss part 8. See you next time.